Happy Valentine's Day. Or I guess a Hearts and Hooves Day. Every pony. So I thought I would make a tier list of G5 ships because I have nothing better to do today. So you know the drill. I've done a tier list like this before. I've got here the most prominent G5 ships. So this is from A New Generation, Tell Your Tale, and Make Your Mark. All of these media are included in how I'm weighing these ships. And by most prominent, I mean these are the ones I could think of off the top of my head that sort of exist so far in G5. I'm sure I missed some others that you are going to yell at me in the comments for, but that's what the comment section is for, so have at it. Give your opinions about why my opinions suck and why yours is objectively right. Please do that. It gives me engagement. So before this dumb blue horse gets started here, let's go through the tiers. Top tier is a spaceship. Next is a yacht and a ferry boat, which is very middle of the road, not great, but not bad. Beneath that is a canoe, which is not sustainable, will not take you very far, not glitzy or glamorous in any way, shape, or form, and it's just kind of there. And then we got a trash barge, which is exactly as the name suggests. It is trash. It stinks to high heaven, and don't like it. So let's jump in with the first one. I'd say Izzy and Misty. I'm gonna put them in a canoe, and here's why. The only real reason why I see people ship them together is because of the interaction they had when Izzy first met Misty, and that was Izzy's excitement at meeting a new unicorn friend. We don't know that much about Misty so far. We've seen her mostly in Make Your Mark and a tiny bit in Tell Your Tale. So I think it's a little too early to judge what kind of pony she's gonna be when she's her true self and not her like villain, semi-villain trying to help Opaline do whatever the hell she's gonna do. So right now the only evidence of a ship we have is the initial interaction between Izzy and Misty, which I think is mostly surface level and superficial because it's just, oh, you're a new unicorn, that's why you're my friend, and so I don't think there's anything of substance, at least not yet, but time will tell, so let's see. Moving on to the next one, Pipp and Hitch. Now these two, I think, are too opposite to really make that much sense. So Hitch is very practical and pragmatic and down to earth and matter of fact and by the books. And Pipp is more creative and like go with the flow. Who cares entirely too much about social media, but that's another issue. I'm sorry, Pipp, you're my favorite. Don't be mad at me. And I don't recall that much one-on-one interaction between those two. This the time that Pipp babysat Sparky, and she didn't do that great of a job at it, so I don't think she'd be a good mom for Sparky. We'll put it that way. She'll probably once again just try to use Sparky for clout and gain social media followers. That's the only thing she'd use it for. I hate Sparky, by the way. I fucking hate that dragon. It is terrible. I'm going on a little bit of a tangent right now, but I hate the sounds it makes. I don't like the baby. Kids media always seem to shoehorn in a baby for some reason, and I think it's very strange that they do that. Spike was a baby dragon, sure, but he talked and was intelligent and, was quippy. Towards the end of the series, snarky, and Sparky is just an infant and annoying as shit, so sorry, Hitch. I love you, dude, but your baby is terrible. Anyway, back to this ship. So, I don't think they'd be all that good together, so I'll just leave them in a canoe. Let's go for a good one. A Thunderclap and Zoom Zephyr Wing. These two Royal Guards, Pegasus Royal Guards and Zephyr Heights. So the thing about these two is the only times we really see them is when they're together, so that really adds to the evidence for a good ship there. They've got sort of the opposites attract thing going on. One of them is very by the book, serious and responsible. And the other is more aloof and naive and kind of carefree. I don't know if that's what you want in a Royal Guard, but I'm not gonna say anything about how they got their position, but these two are cute together. We see them together a lot, and the sort of opposites attract thing in terms of their personalities, I think, makes for a great ship. So let's put them in a yacht. They deserve it. Have a good honeymoon, y'all. Next, let's do Sprout and Hitch. I've seen people ship these two. I'm not quite sure why, because all we've seen of Sprout really is G5, A New Generation movie, and he didn't like Hitch that much. He was envious, he coveted the sheriff position the entire time, and they were friends at the beginning as foals, but they, the only time they hang out is because they work in the same building. Hitch is a much more competent sheriff, at least in the movie, and then we had Sprout was the antagonist. So one could maybe argue that the envy and jealousy is some sort of subconscious or subliminal sign of affection, but I don't see it. So into the trash you go. Zip and Hitch. You cannot tell me that the animators did not fucking ship these two when they made that Make Your Mark episode. I even did fan art about this because it's so good. The teasing little back and forth they have is reminiscent of sort of your childhood crushes, how flustered he gets because she's so cute, and her getting all up in his face. It's stuff you'd see out of any like high school drama or anime or anything like that, and I think these two work really well together because she is a detective, also sort of down-to-earth and responsible and clear-headed. It complements Hitch really well. And just this fucking scene from that Make Your Mark, just throw fuel on the fire of shipping fuel and light that sucker up because these two are taking off in a spaceship. Mwah, beautifully done. Love it. It's so good. Izzy and Hitch. They've had some pretty good interactions in the movie. I remember that one exchange, which was hilarious. I think it's the same problem of the Pipp and Hitch ship. I think they're too far apart in terms of their personalities. I know I said something about the opposites attract thing already, but Hitch is the more down-to-earth, downright paranoid in the second episode of Make Your Mark of the unicorns and everything like that. Izzy is more whimsical and bounce off the walls, crazy and chaotic. Not as much as Pinkie Pie, but I don't think they get along that well as a result. Not romantically, anyway. I do see a little bit more potential than the Pipp and Hitch one because they've had some solo interactions with them, just the two together. So I think Izzy could make a better partner for Hitch than Pipp would, but I still don't quite see the potential in some of these other better ships. So we'll put you in a ferry boat. All right, let's address the elephant in the room. I know you're all thinking it. It's the one at the very end. Why are these two on the list? Here's the answer. They're not. New tier, boom. What's it called? No. Zip and Pipp, they are literally sisters. I am not shipping them in any way, shape, or form. Not in this house, not today. That's no. Not touching that. Yeah. Next, let's do Izzy and Pipp. Now, these two make a lot of sense because they both understand the other's creative process because they're both very creative individuals. Izzy more hands-on with like arts and crafts stuff, and Pipp more with the music production and the making the products for her salon and all that stuff. They had an episode in Tell Your Tale where these two really hit it off. And so they have a lot of stuff in common, a lot of traits and characteristics. So I can definitely see them being together more than some of these other ships. I'm gonna put them in the high end of ferry boat. Just because other than that one Tell Your Tale episode, I didn't see much interaction between these two that I remember. Could be wrong, but these are in no particular order left to right, but I'm saying right now that these are probably in the high tier for ferry boat and potentially bottom of yacht, just because how similar they are. Also, Izzy's super tall and Pipp is super short, so that is That's such an adorable picture in my head, so that we'll do it there. Izzy and Zip. All right. This one's tricky, because if you had asked me a few weeks ago what I thought of this ship, I'd tell you there's nothing there. Until a very recent episode, it was the Hearts and Who's episode, actually, where Izzy is discouraged that the entire town of Maritime Bay doesn't celebrate very much, and Zip tries to be the foil, the confidant, and the friend that she needs when when Izzy is in distress. And so we get adorable screenshots like this from Tell Your Tale. Despite that, however, I really can't envision these two together. It's sort of the same problem Izzy and Hitch. I think their personalities clash a little bit too much. Zip is, like I said, the detective, the down-to-earth, deals with facts and science and everything like that. And Izzy, sort of the head in the clouds, sort of the idealized, optimistic, which could be a good basis for a ship. However, I personally don't see it that much. So if you had asked me before, probably trash. But since their recent episode, I'm gonna bump them up to a canoe. I think if they had more one-on-one interactions like that, it'd probably be promoted to a ferry boat. But we didn't really get much of these two together until very recently. Zip and Sunny. Now this is an interesting ship because they both sort of play a similar role in the friend group, in that Sunny is the leader of the gang. She's the tip of the spear, get the drive to get stuff done and bring every pony together. And Zip is the driving force behind the plot and the lore and trying to figure out why, what's going on with the crystal, why is Twilight sparkle, blah, 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 blah. And so I think they complement each other pretty well. I found this adorable screenshot of them hugging it out. And I think they would mesh really well because of their similarities. And throughout Make Your Mark, we were constantly wondering, hey, is this actually Sunny's show or is this Zip's? Because she seemed to be the only one asking questions about why the hell do things work the way they do in Maritime Bay. So I think these two are good enough to be in a yacht. So you two cuties stay right there. Alphabittle and Queen Haven. Even from the beginning, in the G5 movie, they were kind of at each other's throats, being rival tribe leaders, the unicorns and the Pegasi, sizing each other up, trying to figure out, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which one's going to come out on top, which one's going to win. Entirely platonic at that stage, but you gotta admit, it's pretty fun to see a relationship kick off that way. And then they hit us with this in Tell Your Tale, and they're staring at each other, them eyes, look at them eyes. It's so good, dude. I think you two are perfect for each other. Pony love, am I right? Get on your spaceship and blast off, you lovebirds. Sunny and Izzy, come on, dude. From the very beginning of Make Your Mark, the first, half an hour of the movie, they hit us with this screenshot. I've seen you, bronies. I've seen the art that you've made. I've seen the edits to this screenshot. You want them to kiss so badly, and so do I. Izzy is the beacon of light and hope that shines through when she comes and shows Sunny that she can be friends with a unicorn. It rocks her world, turns it upside down, and that is the first event of the G5 movie, basically. Kicking off this whole line of media, and Sunny is just fascinated with Izzy because she's a unicorn, and then also her lovely, endearing personality, and they have a song together, they're looking out for each other, they've got each other's backs, they are absolutely adorable together, so up to a spaceship you go. Sunny and Pipp. These two, I also don't really see. Hey, the sad thing is that I'm not seeing Pipp shipped with anyone that vehemently, at least for me. I don't think she's found her match quite yet. She's still out there in the world trying to figure out who she is. She's on social media all the time. She wants to figure out What does all this mean? Who am I? What do I mean to these ponies? What's my role as the second princess in line? So unfortunately, maybe she doesn't get a ship, because I don't see these two together in that way either. Now, I found this adorable screenshot from Tell Your Tale because, I mean, look at that. It's so cute. But I don't remember seeing these two together in scenes very much. The chemistry, friendly quips. I can't think of any. Not off the top of my head. A lot of these really good ships I can think of one or two reasons why. I can't envision these two together in anything more than platonic. I can't think of the evidence. I'm like Zip. I need some freaking evidence before I start making some conjectures and hypotheses. Actually, you make the hypothesis before, and then you gather the evidence in the scientific method, but this picture is so cute. I'm gonna put you in a ferry boat, but let it be known that it's the bottom of the ferry boat and the top of the canoe, somewhere in between those two. But y'all are cute. Maybe Pipp will just... Maybe she'll be single. Maybe she'll be fine with being single. Time will tell, see if she gets a good ship. Okay, lastly, I'm a sucker for these kinds of ships, man. It's the childhood friend turned lover's arc. They've known each other from when they were kids, they grew up in the same town, have common experiences. I'm purely speculating here, but maybe Hitch was right by her side when she realized her dad wasn't coming back, or that the Argyle died. I'm sure he was her shoulder to cry on, the only friend in Maritime Bay for Sunny. We learned this at the very beginning of the G5 movie. And maybe there's some arguments that even though they had that pre-existing relationship, they haven't progressed that much throughout the rest of the show that we've seen thus far. But I can't help it. I'm a sucker for these kinds of romances. I cry tears of joy. I want nothing but happiness for these two, so y'all go in the spaceship as well. Like I said, I'm sure I missed somewhere along the line. I didn't mean to skip out on your favorite G5 ship. Please don't crucify me in the comments. But be sure to leave a comment because I like reading the stuff that you have to say. Thank you for watching. This has been my dumb blue horse opinions on G5 ships. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you have a fantastic Valentine's Day with your significant other, or if you don't have a significant other, thanks for spending your time with me. Y'all are sweet. Have a fabulous day, and here's to more shipping ponies. Okay, goodbye. I'm an absolute maniac. These are just ramblings of a crazy person. My God.